put some colored lights in here. I actually would like that a little bit. So we go decorations, lights. Hello everyone, Thranxes here, and welcome back to No Man's Sky, episode 134. I think first thing on the agenda before we fiddle with our starship there and get... Oh, hello, Traveler J.O. And we get all of our modules set up the way that we have, the way that we want to. I think first we're going to look for some missions here. I know we can take a photo of a monolith eventually, because we are going to start scanning for those, and that's about it. We still need to take a photo of a portal and a couple more photos, I believe, of a desert world, but we're not going to sweat that right now. We also had missions we could hand in. We're also not going to do that just yet because it is not all that important. Instead, we're going to jump straight back to Terra Nautica main base right away. Alright, so we have returned to our home system. I had to do a little bit of network game configuration as we were still in ambient multiplayer, and as of which people started joining our game because apparently we have settlers on our system. Yay! Now, unfortunately, I had to do this because I didn't want to start recording people without their knowledge. I do apologize if you were like, hey, I'm going to get to be in the video, and then you were removed. Sorry about that. That's not exactly how it works. Only because, again, yeah, recording people without their knowledge really probably isn't all that great of a thing to do. So it looks like we have Phoenix Phonetics base, and then over here we have Buff 50's base. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Pretty excited about that. So let's go ahead, let's go up to our base. We're going to do probably a little bit of work on our base, but before all of that, what we need to do is get our Starship outfitted, our S-Class Explorer, with some of these neat modules that we have purchased. And I'm thinking this landing pad will likely go away, maybe. I don't think we need 3. I think that's a bit overkill. We can always have another section of the base with a landing pad, but yeah, I don't know. If we're going to do the industrial section there, we might expand up that way. We don't want to clobber these landing pads. Anyhow, let's go ahead and take a look at what exactly we have here. So I know for our technology spaces, we're going to want 3 warp drives. Sort of maxed up there. We'll take a supercharged superluminal drive, and then we'll take another one. And then we're going to do the same for the pulse engine, actually. Take this supercharged electron loom, and we're going to take one of those. It only cost us all of our nanite clusters, that's all. That's all. A paltry price. We're not going to keep this a blade of armor. I do know that. So we want this hyperdrive to come down that way. And then the next question becomes, where do we put the pulse engine modules? Again, it's a little sad that we can't do it tied to the pulse engine, but again, I don't think in the grand scheme of things it's going to be the end of the world. It's just one of those things. Would have been nice, but ultimately not super important. We can always keep our eye open for another one should we decide we want another explorer ship in the future. Look at that. So now we are effectively rocking 6 S-Class warp upgrades. Very, very cool. Looks like our hyperdrive range is 2383.3. That's pretty darn good. See if we go ahead and we make some antimatter housing. We can make a couple of these, make another one of those, one of these, make a few warp cells. That, and then let's go ahead and drop these over to our starship. And it's still not even full. That's only 60%, but that's plenty to start with. We will eventually need some shield mods and some photon cannon mods if we're going to hold our own in combat. But the real question is, where are we going to put the pulse engine upgrades? I thought about leaving the cadmium drive here, but ultimately I think that having our 3 different warp engine mods would likely go here for the colors of the stars, and then maybe either shields or weapons here. I'm not entirely certain how I want the rest of this technology block to go. I know that I want to leave the room here for the shield and the photon cannon, should I decide that we need modules there, which likely we will at some point. Here I was thinking maybe the economy scanner and the combat scanner. We are going to want 2 spots for that, although at the time I don't think it's going to be that important that we put the cadmium drive on there. I know I don't really want the rocket launcher, so we're just going to take that off of there and instead go with the economy scanner. That is sort of the more important of the 2 that I want right away. And then what over here? We start looking at things like the indium drive or the emerald drive. Positron ejector. I don't know if I want to go to any of these weapons, really. It's that important. But the pulse engine is important, so I think what we'll do, we'll leave those available, keep the efficient thrusters there. So then we're going to end up going here, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that's probably just the way to do it. Again, it is what it is as far as not being able to attach it to the pulse engine. We can still attach them to each other, which is better than nothing. There we go. So now we have all of our engine upgrades. We're going to be an incredibly efficient explorer for travel, which is great. We've got our first scanner on, and we're already hammering up this inventory. We won't have a ton of inventory left by the time we're done, but we can go ahead and do some base construction. And honestly, I'm thinking that can go away. Poof, it's gone, just like that. Probably do a tunnel that direction. A nice hallway. Now, there was some discussion about if I remove these landing pads and then I put hallways. I put a hallways on the side of this platform, then I'll be able to do a foundation. I think we're going to leave it as is, though. Keep that in mind for the future. Instead, let's go ahead. We're going to harvest some of these frost warts. Get some frost crystals. I don't think we're going to pop over really to anybody else's base just yet, as I'm sure they're going to want some time to make it look nice, and we still need to be working on our base because it's not quite ready to go just yet. There we go. What a beautiful planet. More ancient ruins. Wow, the ships are starting to stack up. There is a place to land here. I'm not sure why they're freaking out, other than they must want this specific landing pad, I'm guessing. Obviously. Alright, what have we here? Some carbon. I don't really care about that. Let's see, if we put these glass rooms here, that is how we want to do business. So let's go ahead and create some glass. Right? We need lots and lots of windows. And then from there, we're going to go, yep, some cuboid glass rooms. Voila. Now we're connected. We can throw down some foundation which I don't like this floaty nonsense. I don't think that's the way we should be doing business, so instead we're going to go ahead and snap some foundations down. Yeah, so it looks like it's actually being supported. Imagine that. No breaking the laws of physics in a game that routinely breaks the laws of physics. Never mind. That's neither here nor there. We'll break physics all day if we want. Yeah, that does happen. Instead, I think what we want to do, actually, is to continue with these little rooms built up. Because we're going to want another room here, right? No, we're missing the pure ferrite. Right, so we need to get our infrastructure back in order. And by that, I mean large refiners. So many goodies to put in our base as far as decorations and things, and we will get to there. We will start putting them back in our base eventually. In the meantime, let's go ahead. We'll get this oxygen and some magnetized ferrite. Yes, please. And I think we'll do the same thing right over here. No, actually, come to think of it, over here what we're going to do is some oxygen and condensed carbon? Ooh, we're actually really low on magnetized ferrite. Yeah, okay, so what we'll do is we'll turn this oxygen into more condensed carbon. Because it appears we are running out of that. And then we'll go gather some more oxygen from down below. I don't like that that is not connected. Perhaps we should work on that. And we're out of pure ferrite. That's okay. We shall get more. But first, let's go ahead and secure some of this oxygen. We need as much as we can get. But no condensed carbon. Alright. It's not a problem. Should do another tower over here. I do like the lookout over here, though. I feel like the base should extend in this direction. So if we do, we go like a hallway off the top one there into another tower. And we'll have to figure it out. We do need to set up our array of refiners. And it looks like our condensed carbon is actually ready to go. So let's go ahead and continue processing that so we can make some more. Alright, so we had to step away for a minute. We had to do a few things, and in that time it looks like the refiner keeps running. Even though the game is effectively paused, the refiner is just going to keep running and doing its thing. So that's interesting. Let's go over here and charge our oxygen harvesters. There we go. Get some O2 coming in, because that is what makes the world go round. Apparently having extra oxygen resources is some of what you need for a little bit of all that refiner magic. And then, oh, that's right, there was some talk about whether or not I had actually uploaded my base, and let's go ahead and do it now. I was pretty sure I had, but we're going to do it anyways, just to be sure. And, oops. And we're going to head back up here. I'm not sure why this ship is going to keep orbiting overhead, but I tell you what we're going to do. is we're going to swing over to the other launch pad just to give them a place to land, huh? We'll see if that straightens things out, because apparently they prefer one landing pad to the other. I'm not sure why, but they obviously have a preference, so power to them. Alright, and now the big bulk of what we're going to need, let's take this condensed carbon out of here, is more magnetized ferrite. Now, I know we have some rust we can begin processing into ferrite dust, and in fact, I think we will, just to get it processed. But that's not going to really get us where we need to be. Although I suppose we should process all the rest of the dust that we have. All the rust into dust, and then I guess we can scan for some manufacturing facilities. We probably should. Looks like we have some sodium nitrate down there. And we are going to want some of that. It's very exciting to see that people have started setting up a base. Oh yeah, that base is starting to get there. Because we were wondering, we had some people in the comments asking, you know, why they couldn't see the base when they came here. It could be because of cross-platform issues, and some of those issues might be resolved once the Beyond update comes out here in the summer. But apparently people have been able to find this area, and I'm not sure how they were able to build a base. As I understood, that was actually a very difficult thing to do with the portal. You couldn't just portal somewhere and then build a base, as I was told, and I did not realize that was the case at first, but then somehow it seems like people have figured out a way to make it happen. I'm guessing by portaling here and getting the coordinates and then warping, although that seems like that would be incredibly tedious. So let's go ahead and we'll take all of this pure ferrite here. And then, once we get all this pure ferrite, what we need to do is come up with a way to make more magnetized ferrite. And we were doing this in the last episode, although I'm not 100% how. I don't remember necessarily. I believe it had to do with oxygen. So if we go ferrite dust and then oxygen, it gives us 1-to-1 rust. I don't think that's the best way to do business. We go ferrite dust and pure ferrite, and then oxygen. No. I think if we put the platinum in there, we actually get a crazy ratio to magnetized ferrite there. Look at that. So we're getting a 1-to-12 if we do these three. That might be the most efficient way to do business, actually. Let's go ahead and process some of that, and then what we'll do is we'll go look at our global trade, our system trade, and we're going to put one of those here. Just so we don't have to travel far. Why not? Why not? If this really is going to be our epic base, we're going to want terminals and doorways and things of that nature just all over the place, wherever they're handy. I don't believe they sell platinum at this system, though, if I recall. We can buy all the oxygen we would want, and paraffinium, and uranium, which isn't bad. We kind of want the ferrite dust, but I'm not going to make a big thing about that, because we should have quite a bit of it here. So we'll just continue processing those items. And then here you can see we've already got our 250 magnetized ferrite, which we can do that 12 times with these stacks. That's quite a lot of magnetized ferrite, actually. So why don't we go ahead and start using that magnetized ferrite with our oxygen down here to keep the rare metal elements flowing, and then in the meantime what we'll do... Let's see, if we get the window like this, this is sort of how we want to do business. We do want to rotate it to be like this, right? Alright, let's see how that looks from afar. That is sort of the shape that I want for this room. Are we still dealing with people orbiting looking for the other landing pad? Really? Really? That's pretty nice. I do like that. I don't know if... Because if we want like a row of refiners... I guess I had this vision that it would just be like a wall of large refiners, which we would do all of our construction processing with. The only thing I don't like about this magnetized ferrite loadout that we've done here is it's not really renewable with the platinum. So we can only do that so long as we have platinum on hand. And so we can't just recycle it over and over. And that's going to continue for some time. We can, however, extend this here. Nope, we're already out of pure ferrite. Son of a gun. Goes quickly. Okay, so if we remove all of this, and let's see if we go ferrite dust with magnetized ferrite. And we switch this to pure ferrite. Nope, that's still... Okay, here, I have it written down somewhere. Okay, so... What I recall now is that's exactly why we had all of that indium and chromatic metal in our inventory, which unfortunately we sold. We sold it in order to afford our wonderful ship. So what that means is we're going to have to bring back our storage of all of our chromatic metals so that we can get ourselves some indium and whatnot back again. Now, I would love it if we could get the storage in here. Now, I was told that storage can snap on top of hallways. I don't know if that's going to be something we can easily access, though. See, it looks like it wants to snap here into the wall, but of course it's going to tell me invalid position. And then it's not going to snap here because of glass doorways. Oh, look at this! Right, it does snap right there with a door. That's a little awkward. It acts like it wants to snap sort of up there. Ugh, I'm not sure why my jet engines always want to do that to me. Look at these rolling green hills. No, let's go ahead and... We'll just get the storage down here for now. I believe it was 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and it was. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's probably good to get us going. Why do I keep taking damage around here? That's so peculiar. Oh yeah, we have a little side door over here. There's no reason to fiddle with the other one. What we need is like a ramp. We might have to extend this part of the building down with more stairs I don't know if I'm going to leave it just floating like that. I mean, obviously we need to leave a clear walkway for that ramp to go there. But in order to fiddle with all of that, we have to get this infrastructure back in place. So if we go indium, followed by chromatic metal, we get lots more indium. And I think what we can do while we're waiting is actually put down more large refiners. Right, just like that. Because over here we're going to do the whole, I guess just a straight conversion of indium into chromatic metal. But we only took out the 250. Now I know we can make more platinum. Everything's going. Oh, look at the view with the storm. Just a hazy, tropical sort of sunset. Oh, that's a A37+6 hauler? Not that great. The view is pretty neat during the storm, although not as nice, obviously, as when the weather is clear. Okay, so again, I'm just sort of spending my time with the game on pause looking at various refiner recipes, just so I'm being totally transparent about how I'm spending my time. And like I said, apparently the refiners continue to work even while the game is on pause. That way we're not just sitting here waiting for them to do our thing. And then, of course, down here what we're going to do is indium with magnetized ferrite, and nope, no, that is not it. It is with ferrite dust, and we get magnetized ferrite at a 1:4 ratio. Boom. That is a much more renewable source of magnetized ferrite, so as not to have to use all of our platinum. And then here we can just take our rare metal elements and process it into all that delicious pure ferrite, and then I promise eventually we will have our rooms arranged in a way that we will just have an assembly line of large refiners. And we'll be able to have all of this done. So let us continue this process of oxygen and magnetized ferrite, please. Thank you. And that's going to be working magnetized ferrite over here. That is still processing. This is done processing. Let's go ahead and we're just going to continue to make more indium. And snap on some nice cuboid rooms over here. This is sort of a wall of refiners that I want. I don't necessarily want them down here. I don't think I want this down here either. Truth be told, instead, let's go ahead and look at these interior walls, right? And then an interior door. Because this area over here can continue, we can sort of have exits on either side and then maybe branch this room over and down, allowing a tunnel for this ramp to be accessible. And then, in fact, we can have all of our large refiners up here. So let's go ahead and throw down some more large refiners. One, and, oh, microprocessors. And I was just looking at those. Let's go ahead and put another, oh, really? Well, I think we can build one. Nope. Requires carbon nanotubes. Alright. So, turns out we actually need one of these galactic trade terminals here after all, so we can buy microprocessors. Good thing we're in a wealthy system that has microprocessors for days that we can purchase should we want to, because we don't really have the money to do that a whole lot of times. We're going to have to go out and earn some money. So we may have to, again, put more of our base construction on pause in order to go out and explore and actually earn some cash. Because we're a little broke. We're a little broke of nanites, we're a little broke of units. We sort of broke the bank buying all of the fun things that we wanted to buy from our opulent Korvax system that we were visiting, that we posted the coordinates of in the last video. Of course, we're already running out of oxygen. My goodness. How quickly the oxygen goes. Okay, well, let's clear out every large refiner. These can be stored here. We're going to go ahead and delete this one. Nope, I'm not inside the object, thank you. And this one still has some time to go at 34%. Does look pretty neat. We could put some colored lights in here. I actually would like that a little bit. So we go decorations, lights. Red, green, yellow, pink, blue. A lab lamp. Okay. It's cool. Normal light, some stand-up lights. Ceiling lights. Not really for this sort of room. Could put sort of blue lights here. Could put them on these joists, or not joists. I guess what these would be studs, like wall studs here, sort of. Oh look, there's our freighter. Oh, we've missed you, and we've got frigates to assess and potentially send out. One of these neat blue lights. I do like that. I don't know if I'm going to keep it like that, but for now, it's probably fine. Emphasis on probably. And how's our inventory looking? A little bit of a hot mess, I imagine. But it doesn't matter. We're able to hold on to all of these goodies. Make a little bit more antimatter there. Right, and we got our microprocessors, our batteries, our metal plating, our glass. Look at that. And then cargo. This could totally be cleaned up a little bit. We definitely need to hold on to some platinum because that is an incredibly efficient way to make magnetized ferrite, and also it turns into nanites, so of course, why wouldn't we? Lots of doxite, lots of extra frost crystal. We could plant more frost wort. But I think the real thing to do is to actually go out with our ship and try to do some more exploration. Probably of our home planet here. We've actually gone not very far since we've been here. We did a little bit of assessment of the ships that were for sale here, and then we went kind of straight to a monolith, which then took us to a portal, and then we came right over here and we settled down. But we haven't really explored much else on this planet, so that is something we're going to want to do. But I dare say, before we go any farther, for those of you that have been shouting at me about pictures of portals, we're going to actually do that right now before we forget, as we get ready to sign off for the episode. This has been No Man's Sky, episode 134. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you've had a good time watching, because as always, I have had a good time playing. Please be sure to come back next time as we explore Terra Nautica a little bit, looking for areas of interest and potentially some manufacturing facilities, maybe a monolith. I dare say monoliths are going to be one of those things we search for pretty regularly as we explore the cosmos from this point forward. But until next time, take care.